Hi there, I'm AstroTibs. Happy Halloween! It's been 3 years to the day since I released Village Names version 2. Funny how that works out. Anyway, I'm here to proudly present Village Names 4. So it's been a long time in the works, many months. But I've taken the 1.14 modern village buildings and backported all of them into village names so that you can now make these elaborate new, much more attractive villages. Now, I'll be playing again on 1.7.10 because it's the version that I know the best, but it also has tons of backported materials, like these stripped logs from I think it's probably up-to-date mod. So you can see essentially what your villages can look like with the right mods to backport. You might have noticed that there's grass path in this village back in 1.7. That's because Village Names version 4 implements the grass path blocks that are backported by up-to-date mod or et futurum, and will use those instead of gravel. And just like in vanilla, if there are different ground blocks to replace, it will use blocks other than grass path. Now this village is a lot larger than they will tend to be. In the config files, you can specify the sizes of villages. Here I have a village size of 3, vanilla is 1, which means I'm getting about 3 times as many buildings as normal. So this is a particularly large village. You can also specify the spacing between the villages. I have reduced it from 20 chunks to 10. However, it's all up to you. Some of you might have noticed these other buildings that are not vanilla. This is from the mod Growthcraft. This is an apiarist house. Modded buildings will be registered properly with this new village generation system. All of the individual buildings implemented by this mod are included in the component village types list. So it shows the class path to the specific building, and at the very end, separated by a pipe, it's hard to see here, will be the name of the basic village type. There are 5 types. There's plains, desert, there's also taiga, savanna, and snowy. Those are the 5 types. But in addition to the vanilla buildings, you can specify which modded villages are limited to which biome types. So, for example, here's the apiarist house, the bee house. Here I have specified, this is by default, that it can only occur in plains, savanna, and taiga style villages. If I could also add snowy and desert if I wanted to, or if I were to blank this out, this building would not spawn at all, or if I were to just simply remove this entry, that building will spawn in any kind of village, just like previous vanilla versions. If a village you're interested in limiting is not listed in the default config list, you can actually turn on debug messages and look at your console, and anytime a village generates, it will show you the information for all unlisted buildings, which means you can then add them to the config if you want to limit them. If you don't, they'll just appear in any village like normal. Now you might also notice that this village has generated on a river, and that's normally a disallowed biome. The configs allow you to specify which biomes villages will spawn in. So here you just type the biome name, its string name, and if it matches up to a biome in the game, it'll allow a village there. By default, I have a bunch of vanilla biomes, but I also have a bunch from Biomes of Plenty, Extra Biomes XL, and a few others. Let's check out another village. Here I've got a taiga village. Again, it's larger than normal because I have the size set to 3. And we can see that the building styles that are implemented are different. Here we have a split level. This is one of my favorite buildings, actually. And if you have certain mods like Better Vanilla in 1.7 or Quark in 1.10 or 11, you can get colored beds too. 1.7 is fortunate enough to have the campfire backport mod, so you can have campfires, especially in these taiga villages. Idiot. I mentioned that paths will replace blocks underneath as appropriate, so water gets replaced with planks, but in fact, if it's deep enough, I have added wooden log supports, so it's kind of like a pier. Here we are in a snowy village, and you'll notice that there's way too much snow everywhere. There are too many snow blocks, too many ice blocks, and even these ice fences. I don't like that look, and that's because Minecraft allows other mods to take over and replace blocks during village generation. In particular, we have the mod Witchery here, decides that anything with a snowy tag, any biome with a snowy tag, is going to have these snow and ice-based buildings, when they should instead be planks. Now, unfortunately, Witchery is broken. You can't turn that feature off, but I have allowed some form of a workaround. Back in the spawn biome names, there's another feature I haven't yet mentioned. This looked like it was just a list of biome names, but in fact, you have the ability to control certain other aspects. Here I have that the heathland, which is a biomes of plenty biome, will produce savanna type buildings, but will use oak wood instead of the acacia wood that savanna normally spawns with. And the way that I do that is, after the biome name, I put a pipe, then I write the village type. In this case, it's savanna. It could also be snowy or plains, or taiga, or desert. There's only those 5 types. After that, I can put another pipe and specify the material type, and the configs will list the 8 different material types that you can use. Oak is just one of them. Oak is also the one that other mods like to substitute blocks with, things like, in this case, the ice and snow blocks. So if I wanted to prevent that, I could find the biome I care about, and you have to do it this way. You put down the pipe, and then you enter in the village type for that. I could leave it blank, in which case it will try to figure out what kind of village to construct here, although it's probably going to pick snowy, but just in case, I'll put snowy. After the next pipe, you can leave it blank, and that way it will try to determine what material, so I'll just leave it blank. And in the final slot, so first slot is biome name, second is village type, third is material type. You can leave these 2 blank. The final one, if you type no sub, then it will not allow mods to substitute blocks. Let's see what that looks like. And there we go. Now obviously, changing that setting did not revert the entire world back into planks. What I did was I deleted and regenerated this world. But you can see that Village Names has not substituted other mods' blocks for its own buildings. I don't have the ability to prevent modded buildings such as, I think this is a tavern here, from probably Growthcraft. Other mods are still going to get their blocks substituted. I can't do anything about that. This is the best that you can do, but still, I think it looks like a pretty decent snowy village. Now, the reason I called this the Homecoming update is that, well, get a look at these villages. Villagers are finally at home. But in addition, I've been working on my mods for so long that I just haven't had a chance to play anymore. And the reason I make these mods is so that I can enjoy playing. So I think this is going to be the end of me for modding. I'll continue to do, bug fixes and stuff like that, but I don't think I'm going to be doing any more major features. But to cap this off, I've added one last small feature to go especially along with my other mod, Not Enough Pets, and that is a new syllable pool for pets. There are 2 ways you can activate this. One is that there's a config setting that allows horses that spawn in these villages to have random names, but if you want to access it otherwise, you just need a pet that you've tamed, but that doesn't have a name, and a blank name tag. And if you right-click it, you'll get a random name. Whoop. Hey! Horses are a little bugged, but it still works. So now I've got Heike, Nulu, and Printi. So you could do that with any of your pets, really. And that was the point of the thing. Thanks so much, everybody, for checking out this feature showcase with me, and have a great Halloween!